Giving all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harachakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders here. Great millstone, peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So what you see here is something called the Sedition Act of 1798. This is the reason why this is relevant, because it was Donald Trump who just said the other day, actually, that he's willing to bring back the Sedition Act to get this so-called immigration crisis under control, which it says the Sedition Act of 1798 says the Federalists also passed the Sedition Act, which limited free speech by making it illegal to publish, quote, false, scandalous, and malicious writing, unquote, against government or its officials. Was used to silence Democratic Republican critics, including newspapers, editors, and politicians. And, we have no doubt that he is willing, and Lord willing, he actually does go ahead and pass this act if he's to get in the office. And all this does is solidifies their stance as they're the gods on the planet, and what they say goes. And as the people, you are not allowed to criticize. And you already know what's going to be the number one law that they'll pass regarding this, right? They'll say anti-Semitism, because that's who's really controlling all this in the background anyway. Every law that's passed is to get these laws in the books, because the Lord is revealing the skirt of Esau, Edom, and light is coming to the world, which is the truth. And that light is shining and is revealing the wicked for who they are. As according to Malachi, chapter 1, verse 3, Esau, Edom is known as the wicked. So the Edomites are getting exposed as the light is starting to shine forth through the Holy Spirit. And by way of prophecy, they want to stop it. And the easiest way to stop that is to use one of their strengths as Satan, as the serpent, which is the deception and the tongue. And since they have the power, they can write it in law. And they can say anything that they would consider anti-Semitic is against the law. Anything. As of right now, right? The so-called definition is really anything criticizing what they're doing, because they want to be gods on the planet. When Candace Owens got let go from the journal, I believe she was working at, which is owned by so-called Jews, what got her to be released was because she did that interview with that one Amalekite. And when she said, how would you define what anti-Semitic is, he went on in his long speech going in circles. And in short, in summary, what he wanted to say was, we can make it mean whatever we want to mean. It can change. And she said, no, I'm not with that. It either means one thing or it's not. And the thing is, she's married to a so-called Jew. That's why we, partly believe all of this is just a setup, a part of a, controlled opposition, because she's already juiced in anyway. But that was really revealing anyway. Just that whole encounter was revealing, because that's exactly what they want. They want to have the ability to define meanings and words as they so please. And since they have the power, they can use a so-called fake crisis, or I'm not going to say fake crisis, but a crisis that they created to establish whatever law that they want. That's why it's called order out of chaos, as well as problem, reaction, solution. That's something called the Hegelian dialect, which, by the way, Hegelian, which was another so-called Jew, Amalekite, who came up with the formula. If you want to get a law passed, first create a problem, then reaction, and then offer the solution. So the whole immigration crisis, them being led over here, is intentional so that they can justify passing laws to enforce lockdowns and controls. And while they're at it, enforce other controls and say, you don't need to leave your city for more than 15 minutes. So we need to set up roadblocks. You don't need to eat real meat. This is how they get things done, by causing a problem, reaction, and solution. So when Donald Trump says that he's going to bring this to pass, I believe him. I pray that he does. But we understand it's all prophetic as it goes into the famine of the word. It says, was used to silence Democratic Republican critics, including newspapers, editors, and politicians. So the media is going to be controlled, which is already controlled, and you're not allowed to speak up against it. That's the problem that they have now with, you say, like TikTok and YouTube and the prophets. We're allowed to speak up against and prophesy and call out what they're doing according to the scriptures, and they can't allow that. So they want complete control, and they're just going to use their position of power and write it into law, right? And those who won't listen, they'll just use their other strength that the Lord blessed them with, which is the sword. He blessed Esau with the sword. And that's how he has stolen the earth now. That's how he's operating right now and killing thousands of Palestinians by the day. And in his mind, he's on top of the world and there's nobody that can stop him. This Psalms 94, verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? And according to the scriptures in 2 Thessalonians 2, when he said that wicked shall be revealed, talking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, as well as the Amalekites, the JOOs, their brothers, right? Because Amalek was the seed of Esau. It says that the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. The mystery of iniquity is that these people are the devil, and that they are the wicked according to the Bible, and that after they were loosed for 1,000 years, they've been loosed for being oppressed from 1,000 years for a little season. And the world really didn't acknowledge or know this man as the devil, but now they're starting to see that this man was the devil. And by the way, that 1,000 years of oppression going to Revelation 20 is referring to the fall of the Roman Empire, which was around 350 AD, and that began the what they call the Dark Ages, which I believe Constantinople is the main name that comes up. And then from that point, our people, who they call Moorish, the word Moor means black, ruled for 1,000 years in Europe. And the devil being loosed a little season was during the Renaissance period, when they called it, beginning with Christopher Cologne, right, and Leonardo da Vinci and Caesar Borgia, who that's the image of what you call Jesus. That's when they began the Renaissance period. The word Renaissance means rebirth. It's the rebirth of the Roman Empire back again, which is the revival of the fourth beast that's in the prophecy, which today is America, as well as NATO, and the EU is included. But it's America. The Roman Empire is America today, and America is a military force behind NATO. So that's why NATO is included, and EU is a part of NATO. So that's why we say America, NATO, and the EU. So the mystery of iniquity is that these Edomites at one point were not acknowledged as the devil. But now, as it says, the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. According to prophecy, everybody's going to acknowledge this man as the hammer of the whole earth, as the oppressor, as the wicked. That's what's happening as we speak. And they're losing control of the narrative. So they're going to have to get desperate. So it says, shall the throne of iniquity, these Edomites, have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? How do they frame mischief by a law? Because they prescribe it. They put it in writing to open the door for mischief, for oppression, to punish those who speak the truth. If you speak the truth, you get condemned for speaking the truth. That's mischief, and they do it by a law. So if they say if you call yourself an Israelite, that's anti-Semitic. That's what they're gonna end up doing, right? That's what they're gonna end up doing. In World War II, you were labeled an anti-Semitic if you were anti-war. So the American people who didn't want to go into a war that had nothing to do with them, they were considered anti-Semitic. So they can label you whatever they want when they want. So if you call yourself a Jew or Israelite, as we do, they're going to say that that's grounds to be locked up. You can't say that. And guess what? There's nothing new under the sun, as the scripture says. Well, I think I should keep. Next verse, it says, they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. And that's what they're doing with this law that they want to. He's talking about bringing back the Sedition Act, which just basically gives full authority to the government and the powers, and nobody has the power to speak against them. Him setting himself to be God on the planet Earth. That's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. It says, but the Lord Yahweh is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord Yahweh, our God, shall cut them off. So our defense comes from on high. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It had been already of old time, which was before us. And that's talking about all things, even men, even us. We were all here at one point. So that's why reincarnation is biblical. Donald Trump, we believe that to be Nero in the reincarnation. And we believe that we're spot on with that analysis, with that spiritual revelation. That's Nero back in the flesh. And he's going to, Lord willing, he do the same thing as he did before. And his ultimate demise was that he offed himself. So if you read 2 Maccabees chapter 6, this is when the Israelites, we were being ran by we were conquered by the Greeks. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the law of their fathers and not to live after the laws of Yahweh, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days, or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. Now, the word Jew is affiliated with the southern kingdom. You will say the so-called black tribes, Negroes, West Indians or Jamaicans, and Haitians. But really, an Israelite, if you call yourself an Israelite, which you are of God's chosen people, that means by default you are claiming that you are an Israelite. And the Edomites, these people today who call themselves Jews and are not, but are the Edomites, they can't have that. They're going to say, oh, if you call yourself an Israelite, period, that's illegal. And that's not going to be anything new, because that's where it's going to stem from. It's going to stem from the scriptures. They want to establish themselves as gods on the earth. And the first thing they're going to say is that anything that they deem so-called anti-Semitic is illegal. So if you call yourself an Israelite, you can't call yourself an Israelite. You can't call yourself, like I believe I'm from the tribe of Judah. They're going to say, oh, you can't say that. Right? You can't call yourself, you can't say you're a Reubenite. You can't say you're Gadite. You can't say you're Asherite, because that's anti-Semitic. You know what I'm saying? Well, according to the scriptures, that's nothing new under the sun. And all this is going to do is usher in the famine of the word as the Lord already prophesied. So we know that uh, we don't have too much longer on the highways and byways. So we'll see what Trump does if he gets in office. Lord willing, it passes either way. Shalom.